Programming is also maintain the variables, data structures, conditional part, loop part. Then after that, we are able to understand some work related to the data. So in past class, I have discussed what is a data frame, and after the data frame, we have created a data frame from the matrix. Now today I want to discuss naming rows and column of a data frame. How we can give the name to the particular column. Like take an example. Here I am just creating a vector open price and the closing price. It is a two value. Now I want to give the name DF stock price. You can see DF stock price with the help of column name, with the help of row name. So when I want to give the row name 1, 2, 3, it depends on us how we can do this. So firstly, I want to create again a matrix similar in this my window. So I want to repeat this question again. It is my matrix. But inside the matrix, there is no column. The column is not in proper manner. So how we can provide the column? Simply column and rows. Now, so add column and rows. So firstly, column. So add column, col name, and not just provide this one. So whenever you type some syntax of the R programming, it will automatically suggest a formula. You can give the column name to this one because it is DD is a frame, or if I'm talking about this one, only this one. I just want to copy them and want to create them. Otherwise, it getting problem. So you can see we have a matrix, but I want to provide the name M stock. The name can be opening stock and the closing stock and the closing stock. So I have mentioned the two column, opening and the closing. Now if I want to check again M stock, so I can check the opening stock and the closing stock there. But now I want to mention the row now, row name. Now row name, I can pass any sequence 1, 2, 3. But the reason is that when we are trying to do this, so it will prefer the letters, not the sequence. So with the help of sequence, we can apply any case alphabets or any letters. You can see it will react in A, B, C, D. So with the help of this one, if we try to create a matrix, if we try to create a array, so with the help of this one, we can easily perform to add the columns and to add the rows. Any question, class? How we can create a matrix and how we can create a column name and how we create a
So,
row name.
yeah, I have a question here. So, you have this stock price, there is some data in there, like
Yeah,
C. So, how it is identifying like which value should fall under open stock column and which value should fall
yeah.
under closed stock column?
Firstly, it
So,
will divide the entire data into the matrix into this format. If I'm talking about, so it will divide all the data in a first column and the second data in a second column. So we can also load some external file here. I will discuss later in today class how we can load some external file like some CSV file and some other data file in R. Then we can provide the column name and the row name as per my choice.
okay,
Okay. So similar, I'm just doing here. You can see it is just a row data and I apply after the row name and the column name. You can see. Now, subsetting a data frame. How we can fetch a particular data from my data set. So data frame object is this dollar to extract one column and the column name. How we can do this? Let's take an example. I want to print only this particular column. Now you can use, but not yet suggest due to the reason open price. So the open price mentioned in a single quote. So I try to not understanding the atomic vector, the open stock, it's just getting problem. The reason is that the column name in a different manner. But whenever we try to load some data frame into this manner, which I have discussed earlier, so it is a data frame. And with the help of DD dollar, we can pass the x1, x2. So the firstly, we have to convert this data into the data frame. Then after we can fetch. So how we can convert this data into the data frame firstly? When we are doing this, so firstly we have to transform the data, the m data with the help of data frame and pass here the m stock. When I pass the data into the m stock, so you can check m data first, just select and execute them. Firstly, I should have to run this code. Then after that, decide to execute this code. Now, perfect. Now I want to discuss this thing. Now you can pass the opening stock and the closing stock. The reason is that the data dot frame transform the data into the tabular format. Now I can see only the particular column. You can see. So with the help of dollar, you can print them. We have also some different method and data. So we have a two method. We can access with the help of dollar and we can access help with the help of m data. Like here I want to supply the closing. Now you can see. So it is just showing the data according to the column. So there are two things. First things with the help of dollar and the second thing with the help of column name directly to pass the double brackets. Any more question class?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I have two questions. The first question, I'm sorry, from yesterday class. When you develop the matrix, um, we assign the data into row and columns. I understand that. So what sometimes if the number is not suitable for that, I mean, we have six different numbers here. We divide them into three. It's easy, I think.
Yeah.
Sometimes if we have seven,
Yeah.
how we can manage that? The
Yeah.
first question. The second question, yeah,
No, it cannot be managed. It gives the error because we cannot create the
uh,
data on a odd number.
that's yeah. Okay, thank you. So, we is there any way to
Yeah,
manage
on
such
yeah,
issues?
on that similar manner, we can use the other data frames and some other vectors, some other list. So because if we are talking about the data structure, so in our programming we have data structure like list, vector, frame, and the matrix. So as according to the data and what data structure method is suitable, so we have to use them. Similar in Python, we have a list, set, tuple, dictionary. So we have to choose as per the according to the data.
Okay, thank you. The second question,
Yeah,
what is the significance of transforming to the data into tabular form?
yeah,
We finally we got to tabular forms. So
yeah.
what's the next?
The main difference between the matrix and the tabular format, the tabular format just maintain the data in a tables like rows and column. Similar in the SQL. The SQL is also the store the data in a tabular format. But the matrix store the data in a table, but it just representing with the help of index number like 1 2 3, and the similar in the index number in a row a column name 1 2 3. So it is the advantage and it is a mainly the difference. So you can see it is a matrix. So matrix identify each row by the index number. It is the index number 1 2 3, and it is also the index number for the column. But if I'm talking about the data frame, so the data frame manage the column name and manage the row name. That is the main difference.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
Okay, welcome. Anyone want to discuss
So,
your problem?
so yeah. So this data, right? So I've seen like you have the data in a kind of an array earlier, and then you convert it into a matrix, and then you assign the column names, everything. So every time we have to perform this kind of step, these all steps, like to read the data, or once you construct this structure, it will be there, like it's in like a permanent in the R,
No,
or it
actually,
will be still a flat file. It's
yeah.
a yeah.
Most of the cases we have to load some external data only. When we want to load only the selected columns or to manipulate them and to perform some aggregation. So in that situation, we have to use that kind of a thing like to fetch the particular column from the entire sheet. So it is just a strategy. It can be depend on the situations. It will be used or not. And after some time, I will discuss how we can load some external file like CS data in our programming. It is just loading them. Now the question is that, so create a new column in the data frame to hold the difference between closing price and obviously we can create a new def data as per your requirement. Now, subsetting a data frame. We have already discussed like whenever we load the data, so can we extract the particular value position wise? Or yes, we can pass the column name. It's a column name 1, it's a column name 2, it's a data frame object. So when we are talking about closing stock, so it is just a data frame, and we can hold this data also in some other field like call data or a particular column data. We can pass equal, we can pass. It is a symbol in a R programming. We can apply in both sector. Now we can apply the call data. So similar, the question is same, but when we are trying to print one, you can see it provide this one. When we are trying to print this one, again it will give the this one. So the this single quotes and the double bracket basically used for to call the index of 1 or 2. In Python, the index number started from 0, and but in R programming, index number started from 1. Similar in C++, Java also started from 0, but in the Python is 0, but in R is starting from 1. So that's why we are just discussing about the data frame now. So can we subsetting a data frame, subsetting using rows and column position? So it is a stock price like 1 colon 3. So we want to uh, show the particular row and on a particular column. Let's take an example, subsetting a data frame. How we can subset a data. For example, I want to write here subset the row and column. For examples, I have fetched the particular column. Now I want to fetch 1 colon 3. You can see I have fetched the 3 value. And before that, if you want to see call data directly, you can see we have a 1, 2, 3 value, but I want to fetch only the 2 value. Now you can see I have fetched the 2 value. So it depends on you if you want to fetch out the entire data. So you can directly fetch the data from the call data or directly from the M data. It depends on you. If I'm talking about the M data, so you can see but the data is not in proper manner. Now I want to apply the column number 2. Is there any chance to perform? So the dimension problem. The dimension problem is that I have loaded only the closing data here. If I want to perform the second dimension, so I have to load the entire data, like closing stock from I can pass from starting, opening stock and the closing stock. Then you can see, firstly you can see the cold data. So we have a data. Okay, cold. Okay. Actually, I have passed this value multiple times, so that is the reason. So now it's just applying only the. We are just subsetting. We are not just applying the complete one. So we just have to. No need to pass the entire thing because the entire thing is already there. So DF stock price. So DF stock price is my complete data where I have started the and you can see the M data. So don't worry, I want to execute the again. So M stock is my complete data. So this is M stock. And this M stock I have converted into the data frame like M data, which I am discuss. And the M data, inside the M data, I want to discuss this thing like M data. So it is a M data or a complete data. When we are talking about the M data, so I can print 1 colon 2, 1 colon 2. But I want to supply these two things. If I apply 1 to 3, so these are the thing basically which we are discussing here. So it depends on you what thing you want to perform. So I'm just performing only these things on the table. Now, so we can fetch the rows, we can fetch number of column as per your requirement. Now, subsetting a data frame. For example, I have applied the DF stock price 1 colon 3 comma 2 and to check out the type of the object. Now DF stock price, I want to print only the specified column and drop false. Drop false means return a data frame object. So it is just a syntax. So you can create a separate data frame. Like take an example, it's very lengthy. I can create a separate data frame. So firstly, I'm just creating the employee data. Don't worry, employee data. And inside the employee data, I'm just creating the simple vector like 101 and 102, 103, and the name James. So these are the two names. Now I want to print them. I'm creating a fresh data. Now we have a two value. Now this vector I want to convert into the some different manner, mm, like data. You can give any name
Ideally,
or ID, and em data dot frame emp data info. So the old data into the single format. Encall, if I supply encall 2, so it is not considering. The reason is that we have to apply some different value. So the encall is there, and the firstly we have to create the matrix, then we can supply into the data frame. So the data frame should be in a different manner, like firstly to create this one, this one, this one, then to apply this one. If I apply only the single value, so it will show the single. So if I want to create this one, so I can create the employee ID, I can create the employee name. Now I can pass here employee ID comma emp name. Now, now you can see the particular data is show successfully. Now the question is that we want to print emp info index numbers 0. Is that possible to print? It is not possible
no.
because it is a tabular format. It will expect the data from like 1 colon 2 comma 1. So it will give the value like 10. So it will give the value of the, it will decide the column number first. So column number first, and we are trying to print only the two value 1 and 2. So that is the reason it will give the value 101 and the 2. Any question, class? So it is a data frame by which we are just creating a data into the tabular format, and we are fetching behalf of the particular index like 1 colon 2. So it is just a, row, and it is just used for the column. We can change as per the requirement. Now we can drop false. So what is a drop false? So return data frame object. Like someone want to apply the drop. So it is show only the those data which I am just discussing. So only showing that this data into the tabular format, and this particular thing not showing this one. So I'm just writing show selected data into tabular format. Actually, it is just a comment. It is not a problem if I'm just writing some mistake and some different. It depend on us. The hash basically make a comment in R programming. Now, now the question is that, and most of the students are asking me how we can load some external file here in R programming. So in R programming, we have a function read.csv. With the help of read.csv, we can load some external file here. So it is just a dim function to display the number of dimension, number of rows and column, and it is a read.csv function to read some CSV file. So I want to load some external file. So to specify the, whenever we set the path, so after setting the path, to specify the file name salary.csv and try to print the data here. Now you can see salary data fetched successfully. So it is the help and it is the working of to load some external file in our programming language for the data manipulation. Now the next thing I want to discuss. So it is a thing by which we can load some kind of the data. And if you are using the Anaconda, so no need to set the path. You can just load this file into your Anaconda and you can directly them. And now in this particular file, I want to fetch out the particular data, the credit, duration months greater than 12, and also to check out the dimensions. Now, firstly, I want to check out the dim of my data. So it will help us how many rows, 30, and how many column are there. Now the question is that I want to fetch out only the salary. So my data dollar salary. Now you can see only the salary will be fetch out. Now I want to fetch out only those salaries greater than 50,000. So it will true where the those salaries greater than this one. So it is just a thing by which you can check the dim and the particular column. So depend on you. Now that it is a next part, the if and the else statement. The if and else statement to check the condition like price less than 5. So it is actually I'm assigning a value. It is a symbol to assign the value in our programming language. Like price value is 5. When the price value is greater than 2, sell the stock. Otherwise, and buy the stock. So I want to apply the condition part. So the price I'm assigning the 3 or the 5, and I'm mentioning the condition if price greater than 2. So sell them. We are just passing here. Otherwise, the else should be there. No need. Do not pass here. It is just a rule. You have to mention here only. Print. So you can see all the things regarding the loop. So it will square it. So I discuss all the things which I have discussed in the class. So now I'm discussing about the how we can load some external file. So with the help of set wd, I can set the path. With the help of read.csv, we can read the data, we can load the data. But if you are just using the anaconda, so no need to specify the path. We can check the dimension. We can check out those salary are greater than 50,000. And after that, we can specify the condition. So inside the condition, the else part should be there. Do not change the indentation. And the R programming is not based the indentation, but the else is specified there. Otherwise, it will give the error. When you want to supply the entire logic into the single line, so firstly you can check that this particular salary is greater than 50 and the good salary, otherwise average. Head will print the starting 5 rows for this entire table. Now it is a loop, and loop to print the number of value repeatedly. No need to write so many times. Okay. So now the class is your time. You can ask me some questions. And after that, I will share this entire code.
Can you help me to set up the anaconda?
Okay. So now I'm going to provide you this code. Try to complete this exercise and this practical work in your rest of the days, and definitely you will complete this and ready for the next class for the next week. Okay.
Can you help me to set up the anaconda?
Okay, just a minute.